George Ferocious Kambosos Jr. says if he does not defeat Devin Haney in the rematch, adios, hasta la vista, baby. He said he out. He's going to retire. We're going to talk about that in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, they announced officially Devin Haney versus George Kambosos fight, and Kambosos believes it'll sell out. Again, it's going to be in Australia. And George Kambosos says, quote, no plan B, it's do or die. Like I said, if I am not victorious, then it's adios, ferocious Kambosos. But I'm so blessed to be in this position because I'm one victory away from being on top again and having all the belts. I'd be the undisputed champion again. Now, I hate to break this to Kambosos and anybody listening, but he was never undisputed. This is a lie that was concocted by old media and ESPN and whoever else. You couldn't be undisputed. Like, literally, I'm sick of talking about this. Go to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, any accredited dictionary, and look up the word undisputed. So by way of actual definition of the word, see, we can't take the Oxford languages and, take dictionary defined terms and then reinvent what you want the word to mean to suit your narrative. That's not how linguistics and language work. You can't take a word that for centuries has been defined as X, Y, and Z, and because you don't meet that criteria, then change, the interpretation of this word. Like, let's say a bottle of ketchup is red. We have determined the color of ketchup is red. You can't say, oh, no, that bottle of ketchup is gold. That ketchup sauce is gold because you want it to be gold, right? That's not how it works. So you look up the word undisputed and what it means, and then tell me if that matched the criteria for Lomachenko, Teofimo, and Kambosos. Devin Haney had the other belt, despite what anything Kambosos, Teofimo, the WBC, or whoever wants to say. That's a reality. There's no getting around that. And on top of that, he's a great fighter who's undefeated. How can you comfortably call yourself the man or undisputed if you know there's another guy with a belt that's a real belt, bona fide belt, he's undefeated, and he's calling you out? How could, is this what boxing has come to? Because back in the days in the Wild Wild West, when they had these OK Corrals and Tombstone and Wyatt Earps and Doc Hollidays and whatnot, what happens, the Johnny Ringos, what would happen is if you said you were the baddest man in the land, you were, the king, they would go outside and settle it like men and be like, take 50 paces, then spin and see who was the fastest gunslinger. That's how you would solve it back in the day. So pugilism is no different. You can't say you're the fastest gunslinger in the West and then you get challenged by that. And, Doc Holliday's like, no, you're not. And then you're like, oh, yes, I am. But then you don't want to meet the competition that would actually secure you the spot that would prove that you are the fastest gunslinger or whatever the claim is, right? But only in 2022 boxing are we hearing this where people are claiming undisputed without going through the actual gauntlet. Like when Terrence Crawford beat Ndongo, he was truly undisputed. There was no one at that time that could say, hey, I'm a champion at 140 with a real belt, and Crawford is, has avoided me, right? Or Usyk, who just beat Joshua again, as I predicted. There was never a time where somebody at cruiserweight, Murat Gassiev or Dorticos or, Andrew Tabiti or somebody could say, hey, nah, Usyk, he's missing this missing link, this belt. So it's really weird. Devin Haney is the first undisputed. He's the youngest undisputed in the lightweight division in several years. We've seen lightweights greats, but in the 4-belt era, Devin Haney has secured that spot by beating Kambosos. Now, the other part of this video is Kambosos talking about retirement. I think it stinks. I don't like it. And it makes it sound like a cash out fight. Like, I'm all for like being confident, saying you're gonna win, and that type of jazz. But to go on record to say, hey, if you lose, you're going to retire, that is almost making me not even want to see his performance, to be honest, because that seems a bit extreme. And judging by the first fight, you lost and you lost bad. So to me, I think that's feigning and trying to exude confidence that you really don't have by even making that statement. Like, why? It's hard to explain, but if Bruce Lee said he was the man, the baddest, then that's it. I'll beat any man in this room unless it's 60 seconds, right? Kobe Bryant says you can't beat him one-on-one. That's what he believes. There is no other side of the coin. There is no, Kobe Bryant is gonna concede and say, hey, but if I lose, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what are we talking about? I feel like that shows almost a fake confidence by even suggesting this. So I'm not really a fan of how Kambosos said he's gonna retire, And why would you retire from losing to an undefeated Devin Haney? As if that's the worst thing in the world. We've seen other people and other fighters lose to worse people. So it's just, to me, I don't really like that type of dialogue before the fight. Focus on the fight, bring your A game, and then, determine what's next. But the fact that anybody that tells me they're going to retire in boxing and they're overly talking about that, to me, it makes me a bit skeptical, because it kind of sounds like you have 1 foot out and 1 foot in, the fact that you're even thinking like that. And you have millions of dollars made between these two Devin Haney fights, and you made good money in the Teofimo fight. So to me, it kind of makes it look like a cash-out fight. So I prefer fighters, me personally, not to say these types of things. SLC, subscribe, like, and comment. I'm the best in the business. But you already knew that. And I'm out. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxing Ego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a Super Thanks. A brand new, interactive, and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super Thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super Thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready, with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation.